I know. I don't know if you're standing or sitting on the chair. I can't quite tell. It appears like you're standing, but maybe leaning over the table.
I got a knee on the chair.
Oh, knee on the chair. Okay.
All right, guys, let me ask you an honest question. I'm an honest guy after all, right? If Sue Opper had been the judge, would she even have asked Darrell Brooks if he was standing or sitting, or would she have said, sit down right now, this is a court of law? What's going on, everyone? You're watching Everything Else Channel on YouTube, everythingelschannel.com. If at any point in time you like the video, smash that like button. Please subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, and leave a comment down below. I got to be honest with you guys, as I sip on my big gulp, I'll never understand why Judge Dorow allowed as much as she did. I mean, this guy was slouched over the desk, wasn't even looking at her, and she allowed it. And you can say that she allowed it because she didn't want the guy to have a successful appeal, to which I would say that's hogwash. Not allowing him to slouch over the desk and talk into the table and not look at her would not have been grounds for an appeal. And if Sue Opper had been the judge, it would never have happened. It would never have gotten to that point. I think that what Judge Dorow was trying to do and would have worked with anyone else, by asking that question, she really didn't want an answer. By asking that question, he would have probably, wait, I'm in court. I'm being addressed by the judge. I should probably sit down. That would have been the normal thought process for the average person, but not for Darrell Brooks. And not because Darrell Brooks is stupid, but because Darrell Brooks did not respect the court. He did respect Sue Opper, even though he talked down to her, insulted her, yelled at her. He did respect her because he knew that she was not playing with him. And there were overtures that, well, he tried to have some kind of levity with her, and she would always shoot him down. Now, the other two prosecutors, I would say, would shoot him down as well, but not like Sue. Sue never shared a laugh with him. Sue never acknowledged him on the same level as her. Never. If Sue Opper had been the judge, my opinion is Darrell Brooks Jr. would never, ever have taken his shirt off, yelled profanities, threatened, or slouched. When the judge asked him and he said, oh, I've got a knee on the chair or whatever, like I said, she wasn't asking a question that she really wanted answered. She was asking the question to kind of put the guy on notice to say, hopefully, you know, his thought process was, oh, well, wait a minute. This is not in line with decorum. Not that he ever cared about that. But there were times where he was trying to gain some sort of leverage, maybe some kind of favor. Maybe he wanted something. And so he knew how to behave like someone in court, especially like someone being accused of crimes. And, and the judge would even commend him for it, which again, I don't think she should have done. But she did. And the question is why? And I will tell you that even amongst the people that think that she did a great job, I give the judge a 97. And nobody attack me for that because I haven't mentioned that in a long time. But I give the judge a 97. That's a very high score. A very high score. But within that 97, when I talk about why I don't give her the 100, I say because she was a softie. And a lot of people that think she was a softie say, well, you're being way too generous by giving her a 97 if you think she was that soft. I think she was soft, but, the right outcome was reached. It was guilty on everything except that one charge that they had to pull out, whatever. But, no, I mean, I think that she was, I think Sue Opper would have laid down the law, literally. And I think that she was trying to give him the opportunity to do the right thing without expressly telling him what to do, and he failed. And she appeared to be a little bit soft because when she asked a question and it didn't click for him and he didn't sit down properly, she should have then followed that up with maybe something like, I wasn't really asking you. I was more telling you, sit down. And she didn't do that. And she didn't do that because, again, I know people are going to say, this is a 10-second clip and you're going to talk, 5-6 minutes on it. Well, that's kind of the point. That's kind of the point. This is a commentary channel. And through my commentary, some of you guys leave comments that are a page long. And people would say, why are you leaving a comment that's a page long? Why don't you just leave a sentence or two? Well, again, some people get it and some people don't. And those that don't, I'm not calling you stupid. I'm just saying, look, there's a lot of different channels on YouTube. There's a lot of different types of videos. I may not be the guy that's right for you. You may not like my style, but it's my style. It's got a niche. It's got people that like it. That's all I'm going to say on that. But I just think that the judge really could have saved a lot of time. And this was not a long trial. I mean, this wasn't that long of a trial, but it was still longer than what it should have been. The guy had no defense. There were no mitigating circumstances. He did not behave himself. He was unruly. It shouldn't have lasted as long as it did. And it was a media circus. And even by his own admission, on the record and off, knew that there were cameras everywhere, knew that everybody was talking about this, knew that, there was all of this going on social media. This didn't happen after the trial. This happened very much during the trial and before the trial. And that's why when Sue Opper, hoping to protect the families, asked the court to omit some of the names, Darrell Brooks Jr. said, no, this is a public trial. If my name's out there, their name should be out there. He could have shown some empathy for the families, maybe scored a couple of points with the jury, maybe scored a couple of points with the judge, maybe scored a couple of points in public opinion, a couple of points. He had 1 million points against him, but he could have done the right thing. He could have done it just because it was the right thing, and he didn't. No one knew how much of a media circus this was better than Darrell Brooks Jr. I mean, look, there were times where he thought maybe he'd walk out of there, like when he told the jury, do the right thing. But he had to know that he was doomed. He had to. I would say for the majority, if not the whole trial, except for very, very few instances, very few glimmers of hope, if you can even call it that, he knew that he was doomed. So he was trying to get as much attention, being as outrageous as possible, and trying to traumatize and re-traumatize people like Erica Patterson as much as he could. That's why he would recall them as witnesses and didn't want to let them go, because he wanted to torment them as much as he could. So again, did the judge really have to ask him, are you sitting or standing? No. And if it had been Sue Opper, she'd have said, sit down. Or she'd have thrown him out. Do you agree with me? Disagree? Do you think I talk too much? Yes, I hit myself with a branch. I was editing an article in Miami and I was really getting into the editing. I didn't look up. Boom. I walked right into a branch. And it doesn't even look that bad anymore. Thank the good Lord. It was pretty bad. It felt like I walked into a wall. And I kind of did. In a way. Always look where you're going. And always be sure to leave comments on YouTube videos. Always give a thumbs up. And please subscribe to Everything Else Channel on YouTube, everythingelschannel.com. And on Tuesday morning when I was flying back from Fort Lauderdale, I filmed a very bizarre interaction between a Spirit Airlines employee and a passenger that's gone viral. It's got 6.8 million views on TikTok, 30,000 on Instagram, and I think something like 15 or 20,000 on YouTube Shorts. I put out a 12-minute more talking, right? Commentary that I'll put at the end of this video. If you want to watch it, I think it's worth watching. In any event, thank you for listening to me talk and talk and talk and talk. And I'm going to do a lot more talking about this trial because you guys keep sending me clips. Thanks again for watching Everything Else Channel on YouTube, everythingelschannel.com. Peace.